Everybody Hates Rand is a Wheel of Time podcast that will contain spoilers for all 14 books. So if you're anti-spoiler, pause this, read all 14 books, and come back. We'll be here, waiting.
Our title is a joke and is meant to be taken as such. In the context of this podcast, everybody refers to us and our cat. You are free to feel however you want about Rand, who is a fictional character. Don't DM us.
The world is a mess, Dark One stretching out his hand. The dragon's reborn, the fire's been fanned, but everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand. Everybody hates Rand.
Don't reference it. I'm just going to edit all of it out and it'll be a total mystery. Something traumatic happened to us before this episode started and you'll never fucking know. Because I don't want to talk about it ever again.
Oh, bud.
You really set the mood.
Do you know it's Friday the 13th tonight and there's a full moon?
Yeah, because my coworker, who's very, one of those Halloween spooky people, would not stop talking about it. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm glad you have your enthusiasms.
I know. I don't get Halloween.
I personally, don't really get the Friday the 13th thing. I guess I should recognize that if my birthday falls on a Friday, then Friday the 13th of September will also fall on a Friday, but I didn't do that math until this morning in the shower, so these things happen, I guess.
I really don't get the concept of enjoying being scared.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, bitch, I got enough anxiety to deal with.
It's kind of like heroin. I don't...
Okay. Emily, elaborate on this simile that you just proposed.
I think people like being scared because they like the chemical rush of adrenaline. I think it's an adrenaline junkie thing. And there are people who are like, I like things for the aesthetic. And I'm like, what aesthetic? The jigsaw aesthetic? The human centipede aesthetic? Like,
please never. That's like literally one of my worst triggers for
I'm sorry.
anxiety.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
I'm sorry.
so bad.
Well, stop talking about it. Okay.
Oh my god, I'm like gonna have hives. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know. I veered into that territory, unknowing, stumbling blindly.
No,
Okay, we won't talk about it, but
okay.
It will be in the episode, so you're going to hear about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's the adrenaline rush, so I think it's just like a different form of drugs.
I guess that makes sense.
To me, as someone who, like Matt Cathan, dumb enough things happen to me while I'm completely sober, so I stay away from mind-altering substances, because it's like, homie, it's buck wild enough up in here.
Yeah, it's, yeah. Like, I have enough nightmares to sustain my fears.
Yeah.
And I, have to, be alive in the year 2019. Like, I don't get why you would want to be any more scared than that, Yeah, I just don't get it. And, Gavin was like, do you want to go to a haunted house? And I was like, fuck no.
Haunted houses are literally, why? I just don't get it.
I don't either.
I don't understand.
Happy Halloween or whatever.
It's not even, it's fucking mid-September.
Apparently that's Halloween season these days. So happy Halloween or whatever the shit. I don't love the holiday. I don't love the concept of giving candy to children. It's kind of creepy if you really think about it.
There's nothing about Halloween that excites me. Either you're in it for the horror elements or you're in it for the aesthetic autumnal. And it's like, I can get that at any time from September until mid-November. I don't need to invest in Halloween.
I know, and I also don't really get dressing up. Having, minorly dressed up for burlesque, which went fine, by the way. It could have been better. For me, personally, on a personal level, I was feeling very sick.
You had a rough week that week, too.
I had a bad headache. It was a shitty week. I'm in the midst of a really intense depressive episode, and everyone was like, oh my god, I'm so drunk. And I was like, why don't you fucking die?
But she looked fab as hell.
Thank you. I didn't feel like I looked fab as hell, so I appreciate that.
Oh, well, I thought you did.
What else? What other shenanigans can we talk about?
I guess we have to talk about Wheel of Time at some point, because we did spend quite a bit of time there bashing on Halloween. Which
It's only September 16th when this comes out.
Yeah, wolf. 14, 15, 16. Yeah, is there anything else to say? We're recording very late in the week, which is odd for us.
Yeah, I kind of feel a little loopy.
Yeah, and so we're both kind of like low energy. We're higher energy than we would have been if we'd recorded on our initial date, which was Tuesday, which is when we usually record. Yeah. But you had a huge headache, right?
Yeah, I wasn't feeling well.
I'd been medically traumatized earlier in the day. Both my arms were numb.
Yeah.
It was bad.
If we had recorded on Tuesday, we probably would have had to record again.
Yeah.
So.
Would have been gnarly. The good news is I got my flu shot.
I have to get my flu.
I'll come with you. I love flu shots.
My mom will just give
Not
it to
like
me at the kitchen table.
Yeah. Oh, your mom gave me my flu shot last year. I forgot about that.
She's good at it.
She is really good about it.
She's a very good nurse.
It was a very, very easy procedure. I only got it this time. I hope I don't offend your mom that I got it at the actual doctor's office.
Going to offend my mom that you got your shot.
Can I get 2 flu shots?
I think that you might die.
Is that true?
I don't know. I think it might do some real weird shit to your body if you got 2 flu shots. I'll have to ask my mom.
No, don't.
What'll happen if you get 2 flu shots?
I hate hypothetical medical questions.
Hypothetical medical.
Hypothetical Medical. That's my new podcast.
Welcome to Hypothetical Medical.
It's just
where
me
our
screaming.
anxiety just comes onto the screen.
Okay.
Podcast. Intro.
Yeah, that's some fun clapping. Here we are. This is Wheel of Time.
This is Wheel of Time. Is this a stethoscope?
Do you ever, like, you know how in high fantasy, oh my god, you know how, like, in this book, Rand is fighting his mirror reflection? Yeah. Are you ever just sometimes like, oh my god, my mirror reflection just, like, stepped out and slapped me full across the face with the idiocy of whatever just happened?
That was me, like, all day today.
I'm so sorry.
Like, I kept saying, like, the batshit, shittiest, weird shit, and everyone would be like, I can't talk. My mirror self is just like...
My mirror self is just like bitch slapping me left and
right. I like can't speak.
Okay. This is, in fact, Everybody Hates Rand. We are not Wheel of Time. We are Wheel of Time adjacent. It's a friendly neighborhood Wheel of Time podcast. Dear Christ.
This is Wheel of Time.
Yeah, this is Wheel of Time. We're your hosts, Emily Jushaw.
And I'm Sally Kutcher.
Oh, good. You said your name that time. Wow, she did that just for me, I bet.
Yeah.
Just
that joke's only funny if I do it every couple of months. When you forget about it.
You did it for a long time, my boy.
I know, but then when you just let it go and you feel safe again.
It was a horrifying, truly horror. First of all, she was taking advantage of my goldfish brain. This is the first element of horror. Second of all, that sounded eerily like something my mom would say.
And then you forget, you feel safe.
Yeah.
Gotta channel my inner Becky Jushaw this Halloween season.
My mom's one of those people who likes hiding around corners and jumping out and scaring people. She fucking loves it.
Stop, I could have dropped my croissant.
Yeah, she's that person.
Look at Tybalt in his little box.
No, look at him.
I'm staring majestically.
To the least dignified thing that could possibly have happened.
Yeah, that's pretty horrifying.
Recover privately, Tybalt. Okay, we have to talk about, a few things, but let's just acknowledge right up out the gate that hentai is coming back in these chapters.
I'm gonna come back, baby.
So let's just have a moment of silence for the length of time that we went without having to suffer through Rand's perspective, being horny for Lanfear and torturing himself about it. Mm-hmm. So just be quiet for a moment.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Robert Jordan, this was a crime that you committed.
Talking about war crimes.
Speaking of war crimes, Lanfear is a war crime.
Yeah, she and herself, but especially listening to Rand talk about being around her.
How much he wants to fuck her, but he hates himself for wanting to fuck her. Which, actually, that's him around every woman, so it's really not that different. But, oh my god, she's brunette, so it's different. Or black hair or whatever, I guess men's brunette. I can't keep track.
There's so many colors of hair for women to have.
I know, so many women Rand wants to fuck, personally.
How does this chapter start? Isn't he, like, threatening to hang people?
Well, no, that's the next chapter. The first chapter actually starts with a very confusing montage.
That's right.
It is, I believe, the, like, only actual instance of montage in the Wheel of Time universe.
I think he's starting to hang people before Lanfear comes in. The next chapter starts with him running out and jumping over dead ale.
Yeah, but first there's a montage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
got confused.
You said that's how the next chapter starts.
Oh.
And that's not right.
Yeah, you're right. That's how... I get confused. I feel like the montage is its own chapter. It's not.
I really don't like montages in literature.
I don't either, and this one is particularly jarring because it's just, like, not a thing that usually happens in Wheel of Time. Usually you commit to a character point of view for that chapter, or until the, like, 3-star line break or whatever. But here it's just like, okay, we start in this kind of ambiguous place where we're just talking about the weather, the way Wheel of Time often does. It's like, oh, it's fucking hot. Everyone's, like, super sweaty. Dang. And I'm like, oh, great, this is going to be the next 7 books. Delightful. And then it's like, okay, here's Matt. But, oh, wait, now we're done with Matt. Here's Perrin. Oh, wait, now we're done with... And so on, until we've gone through every character, every major character. And it's like, what? What just happened?
Yeah, did you guys know that montage, the actual film theory of montage, was actually like a Russian propaganda technique?
What?
It was developed by a man named Sergei Eisenstein. I think that's the right one. And the concept of like actual montage is that it comes from the idea of like Japanese characters, kanji, I think is what they're called, where like you'll put the kanji for one thing and combine it with another one and it makes like a completely different word. And so that's how like film montage is supposed to work. You put like one image against like an opposing image and put together they like create a third meaning that you wouldn't have gotten from either of those images.
Whoa.
Together.
Like the scene in 500 Days of Summer.
I can't remember that movie.
There's a scene where he like, it splits into expectations versus reality.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like side by side, and then watching them together, it's like, whoa, it's a whole other meaning.
Yeah. And I'm like trying to remember, there's like a really famous movie that uses it, but I can't remember the exact example. I'm fucking stunned you remembered the Russian guy who invented it. You just whipped that out. It was so cool. Thank you. I'm very pedantic about weird details like that, I know. At work, someone will be like, what's the name of this foundation? And I'll be like, here's the whole 7-word name. And they're like, what is happening to you? But, yeah, I just think montage is really interesting. And so, like, yeah, I don't know if it was quite developed as a Russian propaganda technique. It might have been. It was, like, developed around communism, obviously, but it was like used in Russian propaganda a lot to have like an enemy soldier and then you see a dead child and the implication is that the enemy soldier obviously murdered the dead child,
right?
And, you know, and then you see a dictator and people prospering and the ideas that the dictator is like stuff like that, why they're prospering.
Well,
so when people say like montages in movies, like yes, there are various images, like, put together, but I don't know if it's as often used to the same effect of, like, various images are put together to form a third meaning.
Oh, okay.
In this one, I don't know, let's think about that. Do you think a third meaning is formed by putting all of our characters in these little vignettes?
If the meaning is that I'm very bored, then yes, absolutely.
Matt doesn't gamble, and Perrin is heterosexual equals Emily is bored.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, okay.
Especially, well, there is one pretty legendary one where Edwina is in the bath.
Oh, yeah.
And Avienda comes in and she's like, you're uncomfortable. I should be naked too. And then she talks about murdering barreling, which is like, I wish that we got that whole entire conversation.
I know. It's just like, come on. I just want to see all of it. Just show me that how that whole social faux pas played out.
Like Edwina naked, listening to another naked person.
Yeah.
Talk about murder.
Edwin's like, I'm uncomfortable, and Avienda's like, I have misinterpreted this completely and will hereby make you more uncomfortable. Edwin's like, God, hope this doesn't awaken something in me.
I know, okay, but honestly, the energy between Egg and Avienda in this chapter is very sapphic.
I know, it's like, girls, just chilling, naked. One of them in the back. The other
Just
one
gals being pals.
kind of aquaphobic.
Yeah, aquaphobic is a good word.
Is it aquaphobic or hydrophobic?
I don't know, both.
Probably. I don't fucking know words.
A word? What the fuck is a
Today
word?
I found a random ladder in our office building, and I was like, I really want to climb that ladder. And my coworker was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know, I'm just really horny for ladders. She was like, I'm afraid of heights, but she used the, like, accurate phobia thing. And I was like, what? You're afraid of ladders? And she was like, no, Emily, you dingus.
And you're like, listen, my lizard brain has been activated. You can't
And I was like,
words.
I just want to climb.
Yeah.
Because I'm a nutcase.
It happens sometimes.
It just was like going up to somewhere, and I was like, I want to go there.
No, there was this ladder that went, I shouldn't say the name, the glass blowing. Beep it out.
Beep!
Beep it out!
There was a ladder at your former place of work.
Yeah, and I was always like, oh my god, I want to climb it. Because I think it went to like the ducks and stuff above the studio, and I was like, oh my god, I want to climb it.
At my former workplace, the clothing store, I'm sure I've said it was Uniqlo.
The clothing store.
Clothing store.
The clothing store.
Whenever they were like, here's our 3-story tall ladder, does anyone want to climb it? And everyone was like, I'm afraid of death. And I was like, I really want to climb it. I just want to climb it.
And that's how you ended up in charge of the stockroom.
That is how
That's the test they put you under.
They were like, can she manage a rowdy group of boys? Yes, she'll just climb this ladder, no question.
And establish her dominance.
Yeah, I was just like, but the ladder. I love ladders. Okay, that was a fun sidebar about ladders. Took us away from...
Anyway, but Egg at one point is like, it's so nice that Avienda's here to fill the gaps in my busy schedule. And I'm like, they fucking...
Yeah.
Obviously. Or I wish they were.
Yeah, I really wish they were. What's confusing about this sequence is that apparently it's only 3 days and it feels like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, it feels really long. Especially because people are like, time is going by so quickly. And I'm like, 3 days doesn't account for time going by quickly. You just had a weird 3 days.
Yeah, it's just 3 days.
Yeah.
I have 3 days in a row all the time.
It happens every 3 days.
Like, whoa. Big shocker.
That's how the fucking calendar works.
And especially because they're like, look at these relationships we're establishing. And I'm like, Avienda and Edwin make sense. I mean, in the canonical terms of them
just being friends.
Yeah, it's like 3 days of kind of hanging out a little bit nonstop is a good way to like establish a strong friendship foundation the way that they do. Mm-hmm. Rand and Elayne being like, we're just making out constantly for 3 days and occasionally smattering in some political advice. And now the next time we see each other, I'm gonna impregnate her.
Ew, is that the next time they see each other?
Yes.
Ugh. Oh my god, I hate this. I didn't know that was the timeline.
I think in a recent vlog, I was like, it's really annoying that I said something about timing and between Rand and his fucking of women. And I was like, it feels like he doesn't know Avienda. I don't remember what I said, but I was like, at least he and Elayne had that time in the Stone of Tear to establish their relationship. And then I read this and it was literally 3 days.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, fuck me for thinking it was like 3 weeks, because that's how it is written to feel. But 3 days?
Yeah.
My guys?
Jesus. Yeah, it's... Oh my god, I'm not going to be able to talk for the rest of the episode if they make out for 3 days and the next time they see each other, Rand.
Okay, I'll just monologue for the next 20 minutes.
Oh my god, that's so gross. Imagine, like... knowing a guy for 3 days and the next time you see him, he's just like all up in you. Oh my god, I hate this. Especially Rand, he's gross.
Yeah, I know. As someone who's horrified by the idea of sex with men, I don't, not really.
I just don't.
No.
I just am also horrified by the fact that Rand does so much impregnating in this series.
I know, it's really upsetting.
Listen, I'm not going to pretend that Sex in the City is like anybody's pinnacle for gathering feminist theories.
Yeah, it's got some troubling
or
things.
what have you. It's obviously very bad in terms of politics and stuff, but there was this episode the other day that I watched yesterday in my, like, migraine coma, where I just watch Sex in the City now.
Sure, yeah.
Who knows why. It doesn't make me feel any better, physically or mentally.
I don't know, it's kind of nice when Samantha's just like, and I'm gonna masturbate on screen for, like, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
do
like,
love Samantha.
Yeah, that's kind of soothing in a weird way.
But there's this whole episode about, like, the relationship between men and their sperm as, like, a source of power.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and all the women are like, this is ridiculous. And I'm like, yes.
That is ridiculous.
Why do we have to have Rand spreading his sperm across the continent?
It's especially wild when you consider that he impregnates the 2 women that he, spends the least amount of time actually having sex with.
Yeah.
So it's like, Elayne, one and done.
Oh my god.
Avienda, literally, second time they fuck.
I hate this.
Pregnant. And it's like, girls? What? And then it's also just like, it feels like a weird genetic thing. Like, they're the channelers, so he's getting them pregnant, and their offspring, of which there are many.
6, right?
Yeah, 6 total, I guess. If Avienda's future quest vision is correct. She doesn't have quadruplets on screen. We just know about it because she has she goes through it. I don't want to spoil it for you. It's very dumb.
She's got a mother vision.
No, it's not a mother vision. She goes to Rubric to become a wise one. You know, wise ones go twice. And she, instead of seeing the past, sees, like, a version of the future in which she has 4 kids. 4 quadruplets, and it's pretty buck wild. Anyway, so it's like, okay, so why isn't Min the one who he's frequently having sex with? I am given to understand. And also Min is... never really says anything about birth control, which is no reason to believe she's not using it. It's just like...
It's just one of those things that, like... Whatever. Continue your point, and then I'll...
Oh, just like, Min's not one of the, like, channelers, so...
Yeah, it feels like
why
a
would
weird...
she have children, you know?
A weird form of... I don't want to say eugenics, because isn't that, like...
It's like the opposite. It's like this weird form of, like, establishing the divine right to rule, in a way. Like, Avienda and Elayne's kids are going to be super-powered channelers, and their parents are going to be, like, rulers, so... I don't... Like, and Min, it just kind of has this weird, ambiguous relationship to power.
Yeah, it's also... This is kind of roundabout, but I don't know if you remember this conversation in our werewolf class.
Yeah.
About how female werewolves, somehow they always are, in these narratives, they're always... Why did I just, like, mime that I was ripping out my womb? But that's, like, what's happened, that's what's done to them narratively. Like, they, quote-unquote, lose the ability to have children or become pregnant.
Yeah.
And that somehow, like... justifies or makes it okay for them to have this, like, wanton sexuality because, like, the quote-unquote danger of it, or, like, because it's apparently more irresponsible for women to fuck without concern, you know? And in a way, like, if you have a uterus and can become impregnated, like, yes, there's a little bit more danger, but there's somehow some way in the narrative to, like, just justify that women can do whatever they want without the worry of some challenge of having children. And it's just, like, this really weird way, because then of course you have the, like, famous Joss Whedon I'm a monster because I can't have children narrative that's, like, laid upon that. So there's just these, like, weird layers of fertility that, like, make women or break women, and I hate it.
Yeah, like, it's like Min can't have kids because she's otherwise emasculated by the narrative.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which is so odd. It's also just so, like, the impregnation narratives in this series are buck wild in terms of, like, how he just throws them in when it's convenient. Like, Perrin and Fail, nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, sort of goes back to your werewolf point.
Yeah.
But then, sorry, I'm about to break something to you that is really upsetting.
Okay, go ahead.
And sorry, this is a spoiler for book 14, y'all, so skip the next 12 seconds if you don't want to hear it. By the time book 14 ends, Tuon is pregnant.
Oh.
Yeah, and she and Matt fucked once, I think.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I hate that.
Yeah.
Tuon is not... I haven't met her officially on screen, but she's not building up a good case for herself in my liking of her.
I used to really like her, and in many ways I still think she's a fascinating character, but...
Yeah.
She has too much forced upon her by the narrative.
Yeah.
There's too much work she has to do as a character as, like, the one representative of a lot of things.
Yeah.
That it's just, like... She's sort of in an impossible position.
Yeah, and you're right. I shouldn't... It's not...
No, I mean, hate her if you want to. That's totally fine. She's...
I mean, I haven't even met her on screen. It's gonna be a lot for me to feel like I'm gonna allow myself to like a Sean Chin character, but we can talk about that
When we get there, yeah.
When we get there, because everyone knows that I loathe this Shanshin and can't get over that.
narrative, yeah.
But I hate that Tuan gets pregnant. Like, what? Why does she need to get pregnant? Oh, right, because she's an empress or whatever, and you have to have an heir. Well,
yeah, and to, like, establish her and Matt's weird relationship in terms of, like, their marriage and the weird Shanshin rules of we just assassinate each other willy-nilly in Shanshin land or whatever.
Shanshin land.
Shanshin land, where everyone talks with a Texan accent.
Oh, Shanshin.
I don't.
George.
Yeah, not the livestock.
Not the livestock.
So I'm sorry to have broken that to you, but
it
is
so
relevant
upset.
in our
it is relevant because it's
about pregnant people.
Just one more instance of this really shitty narrative that Robert Jordan is like. It also bothers me that Min is the only one of Rand's wives, so to speak, that doesn't get pregnant, where it's like it's not acceptable enough for her to be wife material and mother of his children material.
Yeah, she's literally just, like, mistress.
Yeah, I really
constantly,
hate that.
Yeah.
Min deserved so much better.
Like, Elayne, total wifey in terms of...
You're so right.
everything. Like, Elayne would get lingerie that says wifey.
And have, like, live, laugh, love hanging above their bed. Always kiss me goodnight.
Yeah, and like white lingerie, which is like
you've heard my
your
rant
thing,
about white lingerie.
There's a lot going on in the way women feel they should wear white lingerie on their wedding night.
Yeah, there's a lot,
etc.
There.
Anyway, sorry for that 15-minute rant about something that isn't relevant in the plot yet, but this is what we're doing on EHR now. You can take it or leave it.
Yeah, we're going away from the chapter-by-chapter synopsis.
And just talking about whatever strikes our fucking fancy.
Yeah, well, this is what we did for 4 years in college.
Yeah. Well, it's what men in my English classes did in college, and I just sort of zoned out because...
I was like, I don't care about your opinion.
Yeah, and I was like, one day I'll have my own platform.
One day I'll create
where I'll have
my
a
own
captive
platform.
audience.
But I mean, it is relevant because, like, a large part of these 2 chapters is based on Rand's relationship to women, which is in large part formed on his weird shame around his own sexuality.
Yes.
Like, his entire relationship to, like, protecting women comes from this, like, weird chivalrous ideal that's somehow also supposed to be chaste in nature.
Yes. Rand's ideal version of himself is just this... Oh, God, I hate to use this analogy, but it's so accurate. Rand has this very Mormon teen boy idealized view of himself, which is someone who never has sex, never has any sort of sexual feelings, is totally sexless until the point of marriage. Mm-hmm. And at that point, we can then begin having a very vanilla sex life.
Yeah.
Not to pin all that on all Mormons, because I know that's not the case, but that is sort of what is fed into by the culture of the church. And many other religions, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that's the one I have experience with. So it's sort of like, if I look at a woman sexually until then, or after then, who's not my wife, then that's all on me. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's not a woman, it's not a woman's fault if you think of her sexually, but it's like, I have to flagellate myself for that because I'm committing some sort of sin by having a sexual idea. And also then women are to be preserved, put on pedestals. So chastity and chivalry really do just go super hand in fucking hand. And it's really problematic.
Yeah, I like the wording that you used, women are to be preserved.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, that also then strips women of any of their inherent sexuality, which somehow, despite all these conversations that Rand's having with himself around sex and chastity, like, a woman's sexual agency never seems to, like, cross his mind.
Yeah, never does he consider, well, Elayne sure seems to like kissing me, so maybe that's relevant. Yeah. Or, Lanfear's really coming on to me strong, so maybe the idea that I am having sort of sexual reactions to that isn't totally out of the norm.
Yeah, like this beautiful woman's like, I want to fuck you. Like,
yeah, of course your dick would kind of stand at attention to that, like, it's totally normally biological.
Yeah, and so Rand, but then he has to be like, Lanfear, I don't want to have sex with you. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. of me wanting to have sex with you, even though I totally do.
Listen, you're a beautiful woman, and I'm sure you'll make some man very happy.
I'm sure you'll be the mother of some great babies, but they're not
very
going to be
handsome boys.
my babies. You're going to give some man the best sons to carry on
His family name.
But they're not going to be my sons. I have promised my dick to another.
To another 3, actually.
To another 3. And I will feel bad about that forever.
And it's just like, credit where credit's due. All 3 women that Rand is actually romantically involved in are like, we are sexually active, we are taking a part in our own sexuality, we are pursuing our desires.
Yeah.
But then it's relentlessly Rand unable to see that,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the blame for that definitely lands on Robert Jordan being unwilling to change Rand's perspective.
Yeah.
It's like he at some point realized, well, the narrative won't allow for Rand to change his whole chivalry thing, so I can't ever have him put that in danger by changing his chastity thing.
Yeah.
It's the two are too intertwined.
Yeah.
And so it just becomes this monstrosity of a thing where Rand in, like, book 13 is still treating sex like it's a terrible thing he's inflicting upon women.
Yeah.
And also is like, but I can't hurt women. It's just, ugh.
It's, like, all so gross. Especially when you, like, ugh. Yeah. This, and going back to the idea that women have to be preserved, therefore they cannot be touched sexually and they should not be killed.
Uh-huh.
Like, both of those concepts, like...
Yes,
intertwined.
women are museum pieces.
Yeah, put on a pedestal.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, it's the, ugh.
It's the same, yeah. Yeah.
It's just gross. Rand has I know we've talked about this at length, but it really is sometimes just like Robert Jordan's mirror self is stepping out to slap me across the face with how disgusting Rand's relationship to women is.
I've never linked them in my head before until now, though. Like, it hadn't occurred to me that those two are so completely intertwined.
Yeah.
But you're right, the same instinct that is like, can't kill women is the same, like, can't touch women either.
Which is like, I don't think I linked it until this morning. I was having like a weird self-monologue about like sex positivity and shame. I don't know. That's my like weird journey, like thought journey that I'm on these days. I'm like really interested in that whole thing. And so I was thinking about it as I was driving to work, as one does, drinking my Diet Coke. And yeah, for some reason I was like, oh, this is like interesting to think about in terms of Rand, which is the character I see having like the most shame. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Anyway, where was I going with that? I got distracted by the Instagram notification.
Yeah, sorry, me too. We got an Instagram notification that was like, Nynaeve Elmira started following you on Twitter, and I was like, oh,
Mom?
Okay.
Beyonce?
Beyonce? It was Instagram, actually, not Twitter.
But yeah, it's, that linking is really upsetting.
Yeah, and then it just further is like, it's so typical that the dead body that Rand tries to resurrect at the end of this sequence after the Stone of Tear has been attacked, is a little girl.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're a little on the nose there, Robert. Mm-hmm. We all saw that one coming. Yeah, of course, I really don't believe he would have the same reaction if it was a little boy. Yeah. It's just like, oh, he would little boys die in battle all the time. What the fuck?
Like, first of all, no they don't.
He was old enough to carry a sword, therefore he was old enough to die.
But a little girl, God fucking forbid.
Yeah. And blood's on the bosom of her dress. And it's just like a very weirdly worded paragraph too.
That paragraph is nasty.
Yeah, where he's like, she's not quite a child, but she's also not a teenager yet either, and it's like, ooh, gross. Yeah,
those they're words you should not say ever.
Like, apply to a girl.
Children are children.
Yeah, children just
they're children. Teenagers are children.
Yeah,
they can have their own sexuality, but not from an adult perspective.
Yeah.
You do not sexualize teenagers. Jesus Christ.
I was watching Billy Elliot last night with friends of the podcast, Devin and Janet, and it was so hilarious because Devin's reflex whenever anything gets emotional is to make a joke.
Oh my God.
And Janet was like, fucking, shh.
Be quiet.
She was like, Devin, I love you, but you need
to feel this feeling.
And then after a scene was over, she was like, okay, Devin. And he would like run through a list of jokes he'd just been holding on the inside. Anyway, at one point in the movie, I was like, one of the things I really like about this movie is how Billy's sexuality is ambiguous. It's never canonized in either in any direction. And Devin was like, well, yeah, he's like 11. And I was like, yeah, that's the point. He's like 11, but all of the adults in the movie are kind of forcing, like, this conversation about sexuality onto him when he's 11. And he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He can have a sexuality if he wants. He can not have a sexuality.
Yeah.
He can just love fucking dancing.
Yeah, all he wants to do is dance. That was, like, the most stress I've ever gotten watching a movie. I didn't know if
I know
Billy
we got
was
to
gonna
that
get
scene,
into...
and I was like, Sally had to hold my hand for, like, 10 minutes at this point. And
so stressed.
It was really funny.
And they were like, Sally's an idiot. Why do you...
No, Janet was like, oh, that's so cute.
I was so stressed that Billy wasn't going to get into the Royal Ballet
Listen
School.
to our We Don't Watch Outlander.
It's very good.
Yeah, it's very
It's
fun.
mostly just us screaming for 30 minutes.
About how cute Billy Elliot is.
Yeah. It's just a little boy who loves to dance.
It's just so good. Okay.
What else is there to say? But anyway, Lanfear's like, you're mine. And Rand's like, what the fuck is happening?
This is the hilarious scene where Rand finds out she is Lanfear. And what's hilarious about it is that he never does figure it out. She just has to tell him.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not Celine. You're so stupid.
She's like, oh my Christ, you're still on that? I literally could not have done a worse performance.
Yeah.
As Celine, the ingenue. Yeah. My heart will go on. Like, I was literally just appearing in places. I was teleporting.
Yeah.
I was leaving cryptic notes in the dead of night. What more could you have possibly wanted from me to clue you into the fact that I was not this woman?
And Rand's like, oh my god, we'll make sure you get back to Kyrian and your land so that you can get married or whatever. And
she's like, I'm Lanfear. And he's like, oh my god, I need to get her to the insane asylum.
She's crazy.
One flew over the cuckoo's nest.
She's hysterical.
She's hysterical.
She's hysterical.
Her womb is wandering.
Her dress is white. Is it safe? I'm gonna have to see period blood. That's my worst nightmare.
Oh my god.
It's the scariest thing of all. That's the dark one state.
Rand is totally the type of man who would be like, I don't care what you want, I'm not having sex with you while you're on your period, because that grosses me out.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, homie, well, it's a conversation. All sex is a conversation that we should be having.
Yeah, it's a dialogue, fuckers.
Sex ed with us. Hello.
It's been like this whole fucking episode.
Yeah. Which, strangely, is like last episode. I don't know.
There's just, the Stone of Tears, like, a really weirdly sexually charged sequence.
Yeah, for Rand, Rand and Elayne, Perrin and Fail, who are also having their own issues. Perrin's whole thing is, I just have to get Fail out of here. But then, very cutely, I want to say, Rand has this, like, moment where he's wandering around the Stone of Tear and he sees Perrin and Fail literally fighting back to back.
Yeah.
Which is just, like, what more do you need, like, in terms of your guys, like, staying together?
Yeah.
Like Perrin. She's literally guarding your back.
Yeah.
Because she's a competent woman.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my issues with their relationship.
My issues with their relationship is not anything, like, inherent with Perrin and Fail. It's just the way they treat the relationship.
Yeah, it's their relationship with the relationship.
Yeah, exactly. It's not, like, if you take all that bullshit out, they're just, like, a cute
I actually
couple.
had the realization that the only positive sex, fade to black sex scene that I could think of in Wheel of Time is at the very end of this book, when right after they've fought off the Two Rivers and Fail is like, okay, I don't want to be too forward, but I kind of want to fuck right now. And Perrin's like, sweet. And they like run off. And it's just like an enthusiastic, newly married couple who are like, yeah, we're gonna fuck.
Yeah.
Because we are high on adrenaline right now. And we are into each other. And I'm like, oh, finally, some people having sex and enjoying it.
Yeah.
Unlike Rand, who's like, I'm terrified of this entire experience.
That scene is really cute. I forgot about it, where they're, like, on his horse, and he's like, time to go!
He's like, I gotta have sex right now! And feels like, wee!
It's a really cute scene.
I know, it's adorable.
It's really precious. I've forgotten about that one. Well, see, there is some positive things happening in
Yeah,
Shadow
it's
Rising.
just like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
And then there's Matt. Well, there's always Matt.
There's always Matt.
Matt's like, yeah, ever since the card incident,
nobody will fuck me.
Nobody will fuck me and no one will gamble with me.
He's like, and those are the two things I love the most.
Those are literally my only two hobbies right now.
Yeah.
Reading? No.
I don't know how to read.
I'm gonna wander down to the basement occasionally and be like, should I? should I? No.
And have my Hamlet monologues in the basement.
Yeah. Like, okay, I'd have to be an idiot. 3 days later.
Wait, I am an idiot.
Wait, I am that idiot.
Wait, hold on.
I'm exactly that level of stupid to pull this off. Come on.
Oh, he's so dumb.
Yeah, and then Nynaeve and Elayne are just like, spending time with our booze. And he was like, I'm literally cooking for Lan. I'm terrible at cooking.
I must have.
But that's what ladies do.
I must have, like, blocked that out
Yeah,
of my
it
memory.
was kind of in the middle of a fun Edgewing paragraph, and she was like...
It's like a fucking cactus. Tibble has fully pretzeled himself into a box that's too small for him, and it's really funny.
Like, I think he's asleep fully. He's trying to get comfortable. He's so stupid.
He's so funny.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess there's not really anything. Rand makes some like weird lightning storm. Rand uses Calendar.
Yeah, Rand becomes afeared. I mean, Lanfear is always just like, fuck me, use your power, etc., etc. And Rand is like, no, but he does occasionally use his power kind of in the way she's directed him to, I guess. There's also just the whole, who the fuck is sending Trollocs into the Stone of Tyr? And I'm also like, oh yeah, I remember now. I was like, why don't these people just teleport them?
Oh yeah.
But it's like, because you can't have you can't have shadow spawn cross through traveling gates, which is sure a convenient rule, you know, but also it's just like, okay. So they have to have this convoluted plan about like sending
like grain barges.
Yeah, grain barges, and Lan's like, literally the detective work in Tyr is subpar to not realize that this was an issue, but sure.
Why not? I figured it out in 4 seconds.
While I was fully fighting. Like, Rand's like, how did they get in? And Lan just, like, has this... He's got his police sketch ready to go. And I'm like, what? What have you... You saw Trollocs and have just been, like, dodging.
Yeah, Sherlocking
like,
your way through.
Yeah, John Wicking your way through the halls, protecting Moiraine and doing your killing stuff, and then you're also like, and how did they get in? I wonder. I'll question this guy.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
Mr. Trolllock, how did you get in here? And the
Mr.
Troll's like, bah, barge.
Oh my god, there's a scene where Rand is like, oh no, a Trollock's gonna kill me, and then another Trollock kills him, and I was like, that's Larry!
Yeah, me too! I was like, this would be Larry's entrance! This would be Larry's entrance!
And Rand's like, what the fuck? And then Larry's just like, peace? I'm in the middle of it here. Yeah. Where's Jeremy?
Yeah, Larry, and then Jeremy rolls in with, like, torches in his teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Stephanie the Butch Wolf is ripping out throats. It'd be so good.
The power trio we all need.
God, yeah. Larry just, like, fucking... so good.
Yeah, but actually Trollocs are fighting each other, I think, because the two different Forsaken are doing shit. It's very oblique, and it's just hilarious how these things keep happening.
Yeah.
And everyone at the time is like, I wonder why and how this is happening. And then 2 pages later, they're like, I've forgotten about it.
Yeah. Oh, you remember that huge mass attack on the Stone of Tyr? NBD were going to the Elayne.
And it's like, I can see that from Matt.
Yeah.
Matt, who's like, fucking, this is another day in the office, baby. I just walk out my front door and someone's attacking me.
Mm-hmm.
Because
God, I would have loved to see Matt in this scene.
I know, I was a little bit upset. Like, Rand has these, like, little moments where he sees Perrin and Fail and he sees Moiraine and Lan, and I'm like, I want to see Matt's fighting style from outside of himself.
Yeah.
Especially when he doesn't have his big spear thing.
Yeah, would Rand just be like, I couldn't even see Matt. His staff was going so fast.
But it's like, yeah, Matt has never had reasons presented to him for why people are attacking him, so why fucking question it now?
Yeah, why start now? Waste of brain power.
He's just like, Rand.
Yeah, he's like, Taverin.
Don't say it, Tom.
Tom, I'll kill you.
I'll fucking murder you. I will leave right now, Tom.
Tom, this isn't a fucking joke. Okay, I feel like we should talk about Hotland for just like a second.
Oh, yeah. Oh, why didn't we talk about that at the beginning? It's because I forgot that it happened.
It's because we were talking about... I don't even know. Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah, we did go on a
Anyway,
rampage.
the cactor... The actor cast to play Lan in the show is really hot.
Yeah, I don't really know what else there is to say about it. It's
I'm
just kind of, like, upsetting. Like,
yeah, it kind of pissed me off, because I was like, God damn it, now I have to like this motherfucker, because he's so pretty. I'm also very happy that it's an Asian man.
Yeah, that's great.
Good job. Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
That's fun to say.
Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, anyway, we have talked long enough. I feel weird not doing any summary, really, but it's okay. I'm trying to, like, ease myself into that zone.
Yeah. So let us know how you liked it, if we should do more summary, or if that was, like, a good tackle at some overarching Wheel of Time
just kinda,
themes.
Yeah. Detour to any points of interest along the way.
Because it's one of those chapters that isn't super plot heavy, except for Lanfear being like, we'll get Asmodine to teach you how to channel.
Yeah, there are some things. There are some little throwaways. Lanfear at one point mentions that Kalendor is the, like, third most powerful sangreal available for men, referencing the, what are those called? The Choden Call.
Yeah.
And another one that does not make an appearance until the last book in the series. And, of course, everyone at that point had forgotten this throwaway line. But, hey, then Demandred's like, hello, I'm here.
I'm here. Guess what I've been doing this whole time?
So much. Fuck you guys. So much.
Kind of horny for Demandred.
I know, he's just the only competent one.
No, I just love a competent man.
Yeah, he's just like, I stayed on task.
Listen, I did not. I followed the assignment.
Yeah. Like, I filled out the rubric, the Dark One's rubric that he gave me. I
fucking check marks all the way down.
All the way down, baby.
I led this group project to success.
I'm an A+ student.
I have a 4.5 GPA.
Yeah, God.
I'm getting into Harvard.
Like it's hard?
Well, like it's hard? Oh my god. Cast Reese Witherspoon to play Demandred.
God, she'd pull it off.
I know.
Such panache.
Specifically, Reese Witherspoon as Elle Woods as Demandred.
Exactly. Counterpoint, Reese Witherspoon as Asmodean.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay, anyway, yeah. So that's sort of set up some plot stuff for later in the book, but that's pretty much it.
I'm sorry that I always call him Asmodine.
It's fine.
I just like
maybe that's his real pronunciation. I don't know. Should we check the pronunciation guide?
You know that is against the rules of this podcast that we
like
established.
The first one, though.
No, I think we referenced it once before.
He's like way into the
because you are in criminal.
Oh my god, he's not even in here yet.
Haha, sucks to be you, Asmodine.
Fuck.
Where did the sign off go? Ugh.
Oh yeah, do you have to sign off for us? Thank you for listening. Please check us out on all our social medias. Thank you to Glenna McKenzie for the use of our theme song that she made and has no title yet. Maybe we should title it for her.
The Best Song of All Time by Glenna McKenzie.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank
the
you.
most bitchin' song of all time by Glenna McKenzie.
So beautiful.
The raddest song of all time.
Yeah.
The wokest song, not the wokest, maybe the most yoked.
Okay, do you have a sign off?
I do. This one comes, this is a listener sign off. Finally, you're not going to have to listen to my bullshit today. So this sign off, Emily, I'm sorry, but you're not going to like this one.
Is it spiders? Ah!
So they submitted 2 sign offs. The second happened while I was working, driving a bus. I was driving through a very narrow stretch of my route and happened to be wearing a baseball cap when an admittedly small spider rappelled down in front of my face from the bill of my hat, and I nearly drove off the road. Could you imagine if you were wearing your mariner's hat and like a little baby spider was like, boop-a-doo, 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 breaking news, I'm here.
Well, now I can.
And that comes from Sarah Whittle. Am I saying that right, Sarah, or am I just slaughtering your name? Either way, we love you. Thank you for being the coolest.
Now both of our nightmare subjects have been brought to
Oh, God, you're right.
Yeah. Happy Halloween!
Bitsy spider came down my
I'm
baseball cap.
fucking gonna kill you. Goodbye.